Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Galarian Stunfisk. I've not used G-Fisk in quite some time, if you could believe it, and it will be serving as the closer on this team here. And it's in the back to provide a nice layer of Noctowl coverage. As we all know, Noctowl is everywhere. And also on this team, Lanturn on the safe swap. Here to draw out any potential grass types like Trevenant. And although that would seem counterintuitive, and if you're concerned about that, you can certainly safe swap G-Fisk as well. But Lanturn, so bulky, able to hang in there and really whittle away with resisted damage. Also a very, very good Noctowl answer in the Open Great League right now, as we all know. And also on this team, Sableye on the lead. The reason why we need so much Noctowl protection in the back, but Sableye, as we all know, quite strong, quite powerful. You just have to keep it away from those terrifying Noctowls in the Great League. I've got to say, nothing epitomizes the Open Great League quite like Galarian Stunfisk. And here we go, Shadow Galvantula. This is a very tricky lead. We're going to look to see if they're going to look to overfarm, but they're not. They're looking to throw right away. So we will shield the neutral lunge. If we had let that go through, it would not have looked like neutral damage at all, as this thing hits like a truck and a fire off the foul play, expecting a shield. And now that we know that they are throwing just as they get to the move, we can now successfully catch the resisted lunge onto G-Fisk here. I don't imagine they stay in. This is a nightmare matchup, but we want to preserve Sableye. And they've got a Swampert in the back, so not ideal, but G-Fisk can still fight back and perhaps maybe pressure a shield, but because we've been debuffed, they don't have the shield, and they don't. They recognize that, and they're going to overfarm as much as they want and go for a move here. Gonna let this go, gonna cut the losses, and we do have a move stored on our Sableye, so we will look to trigger the CMP event, but the game said no. Run it back if you missed it. That really ticked me off. Oh my goodness, the moves did not show up, guys, so we were not able to do that, and at this point I just said, you know what, I'm out, the game's not working, I'm out. They nearly one shot, and we top left. That was a disaster, and would have been nice if the move popped up, but good game well played to them. Oh, you gotta love when your move just doesn't show up for you to use. But here we go. Good lead. Gonna try and make up for some lost ground here. They make a play into a Gliscor, and it's Shadow Form. So what we're gonna do is look to chip this or grab a shield. Either one works. We grab the shield, and now we're gonna make the play into Lanturn, because between the Shadow Claws and these resisted sparks, it is now essentially within surf range. Gonna shield up the EQ. That would do a metric ton of super effective damage. That is an amazing shield there. And now we are just going to build up to back-to-back surfs just in case they want to try and go down with the ship. But no, they let it go, cutting the losses. And we leave the matchup very healthy at even shields. They come back in with the Deoxys, of course. They want that nowhere near our Sableye. And this is a pretty neutral matchup here. Gonna go for the Thunderbolt. I'm not expecting a shield from this thing, but we do want to get it into a manageable health range, just in case it happens to find its way to our Galarian Stunfisk. And we have done that, so everything else is now just icing on the cake here. We're gonna let this go. We don't know what else they have in the back. We do not want to give them a shield advantage. It's a Scrafty, so wow, okay. This is getting very interesting here. What we're going to do is chip this with a Surf and then go into Sableye. That's actually our, next to Lanturn, that's our second best answer here. And they are at a potential foul play. It doesn't KO, but we're going to expend the shield here and look to put the pressure on this Scrafty. Gonna build up to the return, and in hindsight, probably should have baited here, because even if they land the foul play, we would have an opportunity to make it to another return, but they do shield. Got a little aggressive there, and that is okay. So now plan B is we get this within to the low red, hopefully within Rock Slide plus Mud Shot range. That's the play here now. Gonna throw Lanturn in here to force them to throw some energy. Likely just a power-up punch, as they would definitely want to rev up that damage. Doesn't KO, it's G-Fisk time, and this is looking pretty good here for us. They tried to catch, we were expecting that. That's beautiful, they're just giving us more farm here. All we need now is the back-to-back. There is nothing this Deoxys can do to us at this health range. And we do have the back-to-back. Going for Rock Slide number 1. This will allow us to say bye-bye to the DD. And we've got number 2 locked and loaded for the Scrafty. Holy smokes, G-Fisk, as good as it's ever been. We say bye-bye to the Scrafty. And how about Galarian Stunfisk taking out 2 counter users? Not too many places for it to go on that team, but we got it done. Good game, well played. Started out the day trying to run some fun anti-meta stuff, but it was not happening, so had to go back to some solid Great League Pokemon. And here we go. Speaking of fun anti-meta, we are staring at one right now in the form of Dedenne. Dedenne, not known for its bulk, gonna go for the resisted foul play. And we do have to be careful of a play rough. That one-shots Sableye, and I knew that from experience playing Dedenne myself, but they bait us, so now that's fine. This is undoubtedly the play rough here, so we are going to catch that onto our G-Fisk. There's no way they double bait, and they do not, catching that resisted damage. You love to see it, and they've got a Sableye of their own in the back. So when shields are up or when we're at a shield disadvantage, I like to just go straight Rock Slide and really put the pressure on the Sableye. You do outpace, and you could play it conventionally by building all the way up to the EQ, but I think you're just wasting a lot of time. You can easily pressure a Sableye going straight Rock Slide, and as we saw, it did some significant damage to Sableye. Going for Rock Slide number 2, and we are now grabbing shields. Oh, you love to see it, and we will make it to a third Stunfisk with that extreme bulk coming in clutch, threatening the flip switch, or grab a shield advantage. You love to see it. Look at the work G-Fisk put in, guys. Holy smokes. We grabbed both shields and got the Sableye relatively low. They are absolutely loaded, though, so we will shield up the foul play. It doesn't KO, but it comes dangerously close to doing so and try to catch, but no, we both had the same idea. They tried catching our resisted foul play onto their Dedenne, not looking to tank any damage as we don't know what they have in the back. We take out the Dedenne, and now they are thinking long and hard. Let's see it. What have you got lurking in the back? It's a Frostlass, so this is fine. You don't need to go Thunderbolt in the zeros. You're going to need 2 moves either way. And 2 Surfs plus Sparks will get the job done on a Frostlass. They go Shadow Ball, and we survived that quite comfortably, and we are at the back-to-back. Gonna go for Surf number 1. It does not KO, and like I said, you need 2 moves either way. Double Surf plus Spark does the trick on a Frostlass. We are going for Surf number 2, doing big damage, and 1 Spark should do the trick. And now it is smooth sailing, and they realize that as they top left. That's going to be a good game, well played. Oh, I've been having a lot of fun with Sableye as of late. I thoroughly enjoy playing Sableye, and here we go. Empoleon. I'm always a little bit thrown off whenever I see an Empoleon in the Open Great League. It has some niche play, but I really don't know why people are running it. This is a good matchup for us. We outpace, and we do grab an early shield from them. What I want to do is get a good beat on when they would like to throw. They're over farming by quite a bit. I'm going to shield this and see if we can either win lead or perhaps even grab a shield advantage. We would make it to a third foul play, I do believe, but we grabbed the shield, so we're going to try and catch, but they held on to that energy. Tried to catch that Hydro Cannon onto our Lanturn. They were not having that. Good on them for that. So now we are faced with a Trevenant here, probably the hardest counter to Lanturn in the entire meta. And they're going to go for a Seed Bomb. And we are going straight Surf. That's the more energy efficient move. And as you guys are going to see, if you just go straight Surf on a Trevenant with no shields, it actually starts to add up and really put in work. That's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. And it's actually forcing them to throw some of their energy, which is insane. And they do take us out. So now this Trevenant is loaded. We don't want to bring in our Sableye onto a loaded Trevenant. We don't know what else might be lurking in the back. Empoleon is a very unconventional lead. This is undoubtedly a Shadow Ball, but we tank it pretty comfortably. We do have to be a little bit careful here. Gonna overload just a little bit here and take out the Trevenant before they can get to another Seed Bomb. And that does KO, of course. And they've got a Drapion in the back. We are still up a shield. They tried to perhaps catch or grab our final shield. I'm not sure what they were angling for there. But we're going to hold on to that EQ and pressure this Empoleon to throw its energy. That's the play, my friends. We've got the energy stored. There's no shot that we throw it onto this low health Empoleon. We will be able to get this thing out of here. And we've got the EQ locked and loaded for a Shadow Drapion with no shields. Holy smoke. We're saying bye-bye to the Drapion. And G-Fisk has come in clutch yet again, closing the game in dominant fashion. Oh, this team was putting in the work. Good game, well played. So hey guys, if you also enjoy playing Sableye, all you have to do is protect it from the Noctowls, and we have that in the back with this team. We had another flyer coming in the form of Altaria, not a Noctowl. So we're going to meet this with our Lanturn, as Altaria often has a steel type in the back. So we want to kind of draw that out, but we do draw it out. It's a G-Fisk. I was expecting a Registeel, but this is even better because G-Fisk takes super effective damage from our Surfs, and we thoroughly outpace. They have to land an EQ to take us out, and we are already at back-to-back Surfs. That's the value in Lanturn. You just kind of keep it away from those pesky grass types, and if you can address that issue, Lanturn absolutely puts in work. Gonna shield up the EQ and try and make a play for switch, but they bait! That was an insane bait there, holy smokes. I thought for sure they would look to just take us out, and as they normally do, want to just go for that EQ, but that's fine. We do get a farm down. We are down a shield, and they're gonna come back in with the Altaria. Gonna fire off this foul play here. I don't imagine they will allow us to make it to a return, and we grab a shield. That was interesting to see. So we have now evened up the shield scenarios, and they throw. This is beautiful. I've got a lot of confidence in a relatively healthy Lanturn and a fully healthy G-Fisk. They've got a Swampert, so a lot of trainers would panic right here, but guys, I'm telling you, Lanturn, you can't sleep on Lanturn. If it's not a grass type, it puts in the work, and we had energy stored, so we pressure a shield, and now we are going to fire off a Surf on the Swampert with no shields and look to get to another Surf. 2 Surfs on a non-shadow, basically KO, and we know that, which is why we're going to shield and look to get to this second Surf here. It's not quite going to KO because it's not a shadow, but it will do some considerable damage, and now this is just about lights out. We do tank a Hydro Cannon, and that Altaria is basically within Rock Slide range, but they go EQ from that health range. That was insane. That just solidified it right there, dumping all that energy, and they do top left. Good game, well played to them. Yeah, I'd say this Stunfisk team is definitely good for a win or two, and here we go. Lanturn lead, very neutral lead here for us. So I like to stay in a little bit just to get a good beat on their timing. You want to see if they want to throw right away or over farm. But we don't intend to stay in this for the long haul. They do tank our first foul play, as they absolutely can. Lanturn often has a Medicham or a Trevenant in the back, so we will shield this up, as like I mentioned, we just want to get a good beat on that timing. Gonna look to throw the foul play here, just shy of their next potential Thunderbolt. Does look like they are happy to just go straight Thunderbolt. They shield, so now we're gonna try and catch that. We didn't quite catch, but they do throw. Likely to maybe chip and dip. Not sure what they could have in the back. Could have a Noctowl as well, and that is a strong hunch that I have. Gonna look to get rid of this as they are staying in, so that kind of clued me in that maybe there is a Noctowl in the back, and they've got a Frostlass. So this is interesting to see behind Lanturn. You can see it, very uncommon, but you can see it, and we do quite well as we are resisting this fast mid pressure, and they have to land a Shadow Ball. And we're fine tanking a Shadow Ball as we do have an excellent answer to this in the back in the form of our G-Fisk and the Sableye that we preserve. So just going to get what chip damage we can off before they decide to take us out. Presumably, if they want to bait, that's fine too, because that does not KO, but no, they do go right for the Shadow Ball. And now we are up a shield, and we can easily align Sableye back onto this Frostlass here. We will shield up the Avalanche here, and perhaps even farm down, but no, they aggressive swap into a Noctowl, and it is lights out for them. Holy smokes. This is about as dominant as it gets in the zeros. You do need 3 rock slides, which is very, very annoying, but it is still very much dominant for G-Fisk in the zeros here. They just have to go straight Shadow Ball, of course, and we do thoroughly outpace them to our rock slides, going for rock slide number 2. And like I said, you need 3. There is no way that you can farm down a Noctowl from this health range. They would KO you if you attempted to do that. So we know that. We know that we do need a 3rd rock slide. Just stalling a little bit, hoping that the switch timer comes up soon because we really don't want to give that Frostlass any additional farm. We take out the Noctowl, switch timer's up, and it is nighty-night sleep tight for this Frostlass. We had the foul play stored, and we are saying bye-bye to the Frostlass. Sableye making it look easy, taking out the Frostlass in the endgame. Good game, well played to them. Like I said, started off with some fun anti-meta stuff. Wasn't going my way, and this team saved the day here. And here we go. Swampert. This is fine. Even in its shadow form, you still comfortably tank a Hydro Cannon if you're an XL. If you're not an XL, you do still tank it, but not very comfortably. And as you can see, we are still in the yellow. They try to catch a foul play onto a Drapion, so what we're going to do is go for this massive return and look to farm down with our G-Fisk, as most Drapions on the safe swap are running Aqua Tail. If we didn't get that chip damage in, or chunk damage is more like it, it would get a little dicey. So that's the play there. They only get off 1 Aqua Tail, and we are still relatively healthy. We should definitely be baiting here, but I was a little concerned that if we baited successfully, which I was sure we would, they would not let us get to the EQ. So we're just going to settle for the resisted rock slide chip damage and be happy with that, because there's no way that they let us get to another move. They do throw here. So this is absolutely fine. We got the Swampert into the red. We got a shield advantage. Not much more you could ask for. And now our Sableye is pretty low. Going to come in with Lanturn and absolutely shield up the potential EQ from a Shadow. That is disastrous, but they're running Sludge Wave. I've been seeing more and more Sludge Wave Swamperts in the Open Great League, which is kind of interesting to see. Not sure, I guess for Noctowl, but if you're Shadow Swampert, you do fine. You do a lot better in that Noctowl matchup. We triggered the CMP tie. I was thinking that they were one off, and that Hydro Cannon did absurd damage. They had a Shadow K9, and it was lights out for them. Good game, well played. Like I said, leave it to G-Fisk on a solid Great League team to absolutely save the day if you need it. And here we go, picking up a positive lead coming in the form of Trevenant. They make a play into Umbreon, and we make a slight misplay here. Reacting with Stunfisk, we should have come in with Lanturn. It's just as close with Lanturn as it would have been with G-Fisk, and knowing that they have a Trevenant, that's why you'll want to align Lanturn onto Umbreon safe swaps if they lead with a Trevenant. But it's still okay. It's still fine. I'm going to go for the EQ here. It doesn't KO, of course, but that's really what you want to be doing with Umbreon. You really don't want to be baiting Umbreon because they will not shield until they absolutely need to, and at full health, they definitely don't need to do that. Going for EQ number 2, and now drawing a shield, so seeing that, we're happy to take the shield advantage here at this point. We will try to make a play to flip switch or grab their final shield. as they're going to fire off another foul play immediately. So we will shield this and either look to flip switch or take a full shield advantage here from this Umbreon. Going to go for this EQ. This is lethal for the Umbreon, so they have to make a big decision. They choose to double shield one of the tankiest Pokemon in the Great League. That is the power of G-Fisk in this meta. And speaking of power, thick enough to get off another Rock Slide to get it even lower. You love to see it. So this thing is loaded, not coming in with Sableye on a loaded Umbreon. Gonna just soak all the damage on Lanturn and put the hope and faith in the Sableye. Up a shield. I like those odds. Sableye up a shield does very well, let's just say. Unless they have a Noctowl in the back. If they have a Noctowl, it's probably lights up. But even with a shield advantage, I like Sableye's odds. It's not a Noctowl, it's a Registeel, so we're looking pretty good here. We will have to shield up their Zap Cannon. And depending on if they get the attack drop, we may have to just dump all of our energy to leave this matchup relatively healthy. And as I mentioned, we will shield up the Zap Cannon. That would be quite disastrous for us. We do get the attack drop, which is very unfortunate. That means that we're going to have to throw these back-to-back foul plays as they are 1 or 2 lock-ons off from another Zap Cannon. Not letting them get to another one we have to throw. Yeah, this will KO, and now it's getting a little dicey here. Switch timer is coming up. They did have one Shadow Claw before they came in. We know that we lose CMP, so we're catching that Shadow Ball onto Lanturn. Oh, we had to make that play happen. They undercharge, but it doesn't matter. We're going to put in work with these surfs, and as we can see, had to speed it up because our opponent decided to abandon the matchup. Holy smokes, wasting everyone's time here. Just top left. Same outcome either way. They're just being incredibly bad, let's just say. Good game, well played to them. I said to myself, why let Noctowl discourage me from using my rank 1 XL Sableye? Not going to let that happen. We just back it up with 2 excellent Noctowl answers. And here we go, Altaria. I'm going to just look to chip this Altaria. I did not intend on playing this out. I just wanted to chip and dip, but I saw the shield. And I know that a lot of Altarias, a lot of trainers that run Altaria love to make themselves ABA weak to charm by running a fighter in the back. But seeing that shield, I was thinking, I'm just going to fire off this return and just look to win lead, and they let that go. That is beautiful. We can now control the alignment, even on shields. And even if they do have a fighter in the back, we were still healthy enough to put in work. But they come in with a Basti. So here's a Steel type. Not only do they like making themselves ABA weak to charm, they like to compensate for that by running a Steel type. That's what we're seeing here. So we elected to let Sableye go down just to control the alignment. Sometimes you just have to let a Pokemon go down to align appropriately. There it is. They've got the fighter. It can be Toxicroak. It can be Scrafty. This fighter happens to be a Metacham running Power Up Punch. Very interesting. I was fine letting Sableye go down against that Basti because I know Lanturn puts in work against all of the fighters in the meta. It's a very strong Pokemon that can do neutral damage across the board, provided it's not a grass type. And they're just going to pop us to death here. We grabbed the final shield with a Surf Bait. That was amazing. So now we're going to fire off the Thunderbolt. Does a decent amount of neutral damage. It does have stab coming from the Lanturn, and I'm not sure they are double boosted. We're not going to make it to the Surf, but the damage has been done. And they make a panic swap back into that Bastiodon to meet its fate here. And we are fine to oblige. We are saying bye-bye to the Basti. And this is just about lights out. I was looking here, and I don't think that this thing is quite within Rock Slide range. So we end up going for an intentional BM. They bait us with a Power Punch, and they're running Power Punch, Ice Punch. What a travesty. Running the wrong moveset on Metacham. You love to see it. So yeah, unintentional BM. I just really didn't think that it was in Rock Slide range, but in hindsight, it was, plus a mud shot or two. But it gets the job done either way, and as you can see, 5-0 with this G-Fisk team, a very strong team. Good game well played to our opponent. That is the team. As we can see, we are at the end of the video. So, you know, like I said, things were not going my way in my first couple of sets. So I said, to heck with this. I guess I'm just going to have to run meta. But I do enjoy running Sableye, and I really wanted to protect it from all of the Noctowls running rampant. So there are a few better backlines to address a Noctowl than G-Fisk and Lanturn. I think that's the most flexible anti-Noctowl backline you could run, and we saw evidence of that in this video. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.